I want to get your take on kindness. You have advocated for a philosophy of self-gentrification, using capitalism to get residents in the community to gather private equity, and as a result, build some leverage so that they can keep giving back to the community.
Yes.
How do you feel about kindness? Do you think people have it in them to purely operate out of kindness of their hearts without expecting anything in return, and they can work tirelessly for their entire life? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, what is the purest form of altruism and philanthropy versus, do you think if you have to be really practical, then people need to have some incentive, whether it's money, fame, attention, and it's a matter of channeling that incentive into something good?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, that was the nicest, the most interesting way I've ever heard private equity being framed before. It's not the same as like private equity, but yes, private equity and community, and it is private and it is equity. So anyway, but I was like, oh, that's lovely. I'm glad it's being recorded so I can like piece that apart, because I'm going to quote you. But look, it is about kindness. Like, people want to feel, I think there's nothing more than people want than to feel loved and appreciated. And I think the reason why so many of us don't behave that way is because we don't believe that it's ever coming to us.
Yeah.
So when we start playing this game of, you know what, how can we be kind to each other and show that, then suddenly it becomes something that people want, and we show that we can pass it along and pay it forward. And that in and of itself is the kind of thing that makes me happy going forward. So I don't know. I feel like, little things like, how do you create the spaces that make people feel as though they can afford to be gracious and generous and kind to each other? You can't do that if you feel like you're all like, if there's so much scarcity that if you're not like hoarding stuff for yourself, you're never going to be in a space where you could feel like, oh, open it up. But to show that level of vulnerability, and literally, like the way dogs do when they show submission, we're just like, okay, I'm of no threat to you. And it's not, I want to be beyond of no threat, but I want to feel like I can afford to give you something that you didn't know was even possible in this community. Like at our cafe, we, expect our people who work behind the counter, just like, no, like sometimes this will be the only place people will come into when someone greets them with a smile. Like, and if you can't do that, and I did have one guy who just said, Majora doesn't pay me to smile. It's like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And he didn't last long, and it was like, see ya. But anyway, but no, that's the whole point. Like, we want to create those spaces so that people know, oh wait, I just got it. Maybe I can give it out. And that is something that ultimately people need to feel. And then they also need opportunities so that they feel as though they've got something to look forward to. And that's why we focus so much on the economics of a community. Yeah. Because again, I do really, and again, it's not just my personal feelings, it is history. Economically disempowered people are easy to push around. And they're also the ones who are just both, not just economically challenged, but medically, health-wise, educationally, they're challenged in all of those ways. And because much of it stems from that they don't have the resources to support themselves in any other way. Yeah. So if we know that's the case, then let's do something different about it. And that's why I do what I do, period. Mm-hmm.